feel so much more like happier. Especially, I think, I mean, talking about our dunya, we have exams going on quite soon, and you're constantly reminded about it all the time. So spending time with your friends who are going through the same thing as you, and just being silly, like you're not even taking anything seriously. I love that.
I mean, I have a couple in mind. I think one, it links to the friend thing as well. I've gotten a lot closer to my friend group now. I've been accepted into a friend group, which I think is really, really sweet. And I'm really grateful to have.
For anyone who doesn't know, Mahek has is in year 12, so
yeah. So I've just started sixth form, yeah. And of course, it was a lot more difficult because when I went into sixth form, everyone kind of knew everyone. I came from a school where there wasn't a lot of people present. So originally I was very, very nervous, and I feel like that's something that needs to be normalized as well. You're not gonna go into a new school and just find people. That's not how it works. It's going to find people who are exactly like you or similar to you. You can share interests.
Also, the move from like secondary to college, I feel like a lot of people are more. It's hard, but people are more mature. I feel like, in the sense of people aren't maybe a bit. They're more closed off in their friend group, but I think they are open to being friends with people, if you get what I'm saying. I think in secondary school you've got people who just want to stay closed off. You've got a lot of mean girls, as we'd say. You know, they don't really,
not just girls,
but yeah, I'm sure you feel it as well. You've got people who just, they don't like being friends with other people. They just stay closed off with their friends. They don't accept anyone else. So I think when you go into college and when you're around mature people who, you empathetic people, they can understand other people and talk to other people. It's really important that we are like that, but we become friends with people like
and
that.
I think those kind of people are really, really good to be around because it makes you. You should always be around people who makes you want to be better, makes you want to be better people. I feel like respect is such a huge important thing when it comes to friendship as well. If you don't respect the people you're around, you're less likely to get along with them because you don't respect their values, their morals.
Yeah.
And people you can have intellectual conversations with. I think this is such a big thing. People you can actually have intellectual conversations with, and your brain is getting stimulated when you're talking to them.
Yeah.
I love people like that.
But you know, even when you can have hard conversations with them, you know, like for example, I know all of us with our friends will have we'll talk about dumb stuff.
Yeah,
it'll never be serious. But when you
can
have that, but you can also talk about serious topics, and everyone is included. And everyone can talk about it in an intellectual way. I think that is so important because it's also stimulating your mind.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, if went off on a tangent there, but yeah, if any of the listeners have any highlights they'd like to share from their Ramadan so far, any tips or tricks to help the rest of your Ramadan go as smoothly as possible, please call in on
0116 4822 or even text on the number 077488 55055.
We do have a couple of prizes, and if you answer our questions, then hopefully we will, you can come collect them from the studio. So please do call in or message in.
I wanted to ask, before we move on to our actual topic of today, we spoke about dunya highlights. Do you guys have any personal deen highlights that you'd like to share? Like things that you've done during this Ramadan that you're really proud of, whether it's like I got through this many hours of Quran or
I understand what you're asking. Alhamdulillah, I listen to a lot of the bayads and stuff now. You know, before when I was revising after Darawi and stuff, I just sit in silence and I'm revising. But now I tend to have the bayad going on in the background. So even if I'm not actively listening, there's parts of it which I'm taking in, which is important, I think. Especially since we live in a society where listening to music is normalized. I mean, talking to myself first. You know, I think it's important to listen to other things and know if you're aware of what you're doing is wrong, then you'll want to do better.
Mine is probably the Quran as well. I haven't set my dhikr, inshallah, and I'm going to Gulf, I think, to get the send it through, inshallah. But just generally, I feel like I've done way better than last year.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I've planned it out, and I've planned my time out, so I can do this much of the bar in the morning, do this much bar when I'm coming back, and I can do this much of the bar just before the army.
Yeah. So you've got it all planned out.
Yeah, basically.
So it doesn't feel overwhelmed in your head as well.
Organization is really important. I think it definitely helps with everything in life.
Yeah. Shall we go on to our topic for today? So today we are going to talk about major and minor signs for the day of Qiyamah, also known as Judgment Day. So first, let me explain what the day of Qiyamah is. So this is the day when Allah will resurrect all beings from their graves, judge them based on their deeds, and determine their eternal fate in the hereafter. Only Allah knows when the day of Qiyamah actually is, which is why acts of repentance and kindness is emphasized to ensure we are the best Muslims we can be before we leave this world. Although we aren't given the day for the day of Qiyamah, we are given signs to look out for, which are foretold to occur before the day of Qiyamah. Most, if not all, of the minor signs have already happened, according to scholars, meaning only the major signs are left. So let's discuss some of these minor signs. So the first one is time will pass quickly. I think this is so.
It's
yeah.
scary that it's actually happening,
Yeah.
and we've realized it.
Yeah.
Where the days become shorter, and it's almost like losing track of time. I feel like that happens to me so often.
Especially like doom scrolling as
I
well.
was just gonna say doom
yeah.
scrolling. I'll scroll for hours and hours, and be like, no, I'll stop at 35, but 36 happens, and I'll stop at 40, and then
I was literally about to say that. We have such a bad habit of like, it'll be like, I don't know, 2:37, and like, no, we have to wait till 2:45 before we get on with the rest of our time. And I feel like that's such a bad habit of us, because in that time we're not doing anything productive, we're just doom scrolling. And a question someone actually asked me before is, when you're doom scrolling, after you're done, do you remember anything you actually watched?
It's so bad. I don't think I do. I'll go through like hundreds of videos.
Like those thousands of videos you scroll past, do you remember what every single video has?
No.
Probably one or two.
One or
Exactly.
two.
That probably watch for a little longer.
Yeah.
It's also, can we talk about how our attention span has just
Oh my
decreased?
gosh.
Like,
Yeah.
I know so many people who just can't get through like a YouTube video. For example, we have educational YouTube videos where we have like different science people and
Yeah, Mr. Stretch.
yeah, exactly. And so I know so many people who can just they can't get through the videos
They have to watch on like two times speed or something.
or like they just
I
can't
can't
do
lie,
it.
I'm one of those people. I won't lie.
You know what I've just realized is that, you know, how this is going on about iPad kids, but I'm not saying iPad kids, but just generally kids nowadays, the things where they have to watch a video and
Whilst
then
eating.
something slime, like
Yeah.
some slime or something, or Subway Surfer.
I feel like Abdurrahman's seen this in real life, and that's why he brings it up.
Yeah.
Every show we
He
watch this from
brings
the
this up.
first show. Every show we talk about iPad kids.
No, but you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
100%.
like that's the attention span that people have to watch two things like
Yeah.
simultaneously just so they can concentrate.
Well, you know, like for example, when we're revising or something, people have to have something on in the background. Like I am one of those people, but I realized like, why can't I just focus on my one thing like that I need to focus on?
And you can link this back to time will pass way too quickly. I feel like for example, if I'm getting ready for morning
Yeah.
and I've got something going on in the background, whether it's like a YouTube video or whatever, or like Netflix, I feel like time will go so much more quicker than if
Yeah.
it's not. And it's very important to recognize that, because even when you're studying, you can think you're studying for such a long period of time, and it will be a long period of time, but you've got like the smallest amount of work done. I feel like when I've got stuff playing in the background, I just slow myself down regardless.
Yeah.
And also like talking about time will pass quickly, I think it also reminds us to take every moment and treasure every moment and make the most out of every moment, whether that's doing ibadah, spending time with your family, you know, taking the time out to spend time with everyone you love is really important, because time is passing quickly. Like we always say, oh, it's gone like a blink of an eye.
Yeah.
Like for example, my whole secondary school experience went so fast.
Oh,
I feel like I'm
mine
still
as well.
stuck in 2020. I will not
I
lie to
promise you, I feel like this last year where I've had the transition from year 11 to year 12, it has not felt for as long as it has been. Like it's been 7 months, and it has not felt like 7 months. It's like, where has the time gone?
Yeah.
I still feel like I've just started, and I'm nearly towards the end of year 12. I'm going to year 13.
Yeah.
Exactly with me. Like even GCSE, I was like, you know what, I'll
You
got
have
this
like
much
mocks and stuff.
Oh, mocks,
approaching.
yeah, but I was like, you know what, yeah, I still got time, you know, I just started
Yeah.
at 10. Next thing you know, it's already like 3/4 of the way through.
It's
Yeah.
scary how
Yeah,
fast
yeah.
time's going.
Especially now, like you're approaching big times in
In
your
life.
dunya, like exams and stuff like that. I mean, at the beginning of year 13, genuinely, I thought I've got ages, and before you know it, I've literally got 2 months left.
And it's important to recognize another reason why time just passes so quickly is because we're so beyond busy. It's not only one part of our life that
But
just
also, what
happens.
type of busy? Are we busy in this dunya?
True.
Or is it's like we have to make sure we have a good balance.
Yeah.
And we talked about this in our last show. Moderation
Yeah.
is so important. Like you said, we're so busy, so making sure we're taking time out for things that are actually important for us.
Not just in time, but in food.
Yeah. Oh, food.
We knew it'd get to
Food.
this.
Shall we talk about it now so then we don't have to talk about it later?
Yeah, let's-
fair enough.
Moderation in food. We have to do this reminder every single week.
Okay, if you guys don't know, we as a show, Voices of Tomorrow, love food. It's just a thing. We love talking about it.
Past
We love
2-3 years.
indulging in it. We just love food. So let's start from Abdul Rahman. Favorite thing to have in Ramadan, food-wise?
Favorite thing.
Forget healthiness.
Forget
Of course-
healthiness.
of course-
For right
Okay,
now.
okay.
For right
now
now.
we're
For right
talking.
now.
Now we're talking. Generally, if I were to leave my whole like menu, I'd do
Go on.
starters. I'd have about
Starters.
starters. I'm saying you said no healthiness, so I
We
was
said
like,
no
fair enough.
healthiness, fair.
I mean, I
And
can't have
dessert,
this
we want-
realistically, but
Yeah, dessert as well, yeah.
5 samosas, 5 spring rolls, 5 one of those breadcrumb square things,
Oh.
All right.
or half moons. Then main course. I don't even really know, to be honest. There's too many things to choose.
Okay, what's like your top 2 things to have?
Probably like a Nashville lunchbox, something like that.
We
No, I haven't had those in a long time though.
Nashville lunch.
Not even just that, but
during
just
Ramadan as well.
what's wrong about talking about food during
No.
Ramadan?
I'm saying
Nashville lunchbox. Yeah.
Nashville-
Fair
okay,
enough.
fine, but
And
Nashville
dessert,
lunchbox.
probably. Generally, I'll probably say like a
Milk
milkshake with
Oh.
probably like a milkshake. So
Got
Milk
you.
cake. Yeah.
You?
Okay, I don't have like a full menu.
Yeah, neither do I.
Probably these like squares. It's got like these fried squares that my mum makes.
yeah.
What's my favorite thing to eat? I'll probably say like biryani or something. I'm
During
so
Ramadan?
basic. Yeah. But you don't do
See,
this.
this is the
We know
thing.
this already. She doesn't.
I
Yeah, we
don't
know.
have mains. Like well, technically I do. Like the starters you guys are naming, I have that for mains, and I just don't eat after. And it's not because like I just don't eat. It's just because
That's what.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm
so-
so used to. Like we
Yeah.
have on the table, it's mostly like spring rolls, samosas, those breadcrumbs.
So you don't have like a main like meal.
I won't
meal?
have like biryani or nihari or anything.
No.
On
we
Eid, our main dish is always like nihari or something, or like some sort of korma. But generally during Ramadan we don't. So my favorite has to be like half moons are so amazing, and
Yeah.
anything bread coated,
I'm
amazing.
so well, you mentioned Eid and I'm so excited for
I
Eid.
was so okay. We'll talk
I'm
about this in
so
our next show
excited.
because I think
Yeah.
we're close to Eid then.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my go-to. And then for dessert, the crunch cake that's been going viral.
Oh my
I
gosh.
tried it,
You know,
I did not
every
like it.
Ramadan there's always something that goes viral.
Yeah,
Last year it
No.
was that Ahmed Azamel cake.
Yes,
Yeah.
I made that. That was really nice.
Yeah,
That
my
actually.
sister-in-law, she made the crunch cake. She gave it to my brother, and I had it yesterday, and you know what? All these TikTok desserts that I've tried, I have not. It's not.
They're not hit.
They're not hitting.
Yeah.
Like the milk cake's fine.
They are
they
nice.
hit. They bang.
Yeah.
The crunch cake, I was kind of like, I don't see the hype.
I
But-
don't know. I just
Yeah.
think of it like chocolate cornflakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, why are we mixing dessert and breakfast?
To
It
be
should- it
fair,
should not happen.
if I'm
This
like,
is 2 years in a row. We had chocolate. What was it? What was it Cocoa Pops last year?
oh yeah, yeah. I
The
know what you're talking
Ahmed
about.
Azamel cake.
Yeah,
yeah.
like last year. What was it with desserts and
That was
breakfast?
generally that was really good though.
That
Just
was
generally.
no, but
I
that
never
was really
tried it.
nice.
We asked you to bring some in.
Sorry.
Yeah, didn't happen.
All
It's
this
okay.
happens.
Every
This
time.
happens.
Every time.
Okay, let's go on to our next one.
Yeah.
So, decline of knowledge. The value of education decreases, and people don't want to seek knowledge. And I think that's so relevant.
That is.
How many times have we just been lazy so we don't want to learn,
Yeah.
and then we realize we're behind in school?
Or
That
even
happens to me
just
all the time.
I think this is a good reason why this show is so good for me personally, because it makes me I'm doing research for my show plans. I'm doing research for things that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
So in that way I'm increasing my knowledge, and if I hadn't had a reason to do it, I wouldn't have done it.
Exactly.
So I think having something to work towards, because we can always talk about our dunya. No one ever wants to go school. Like, do you
No.
no one ever wants to go school.
I think you know what, when you said that, it's not about not going to school, because I enjoy going to school, seeing my friends, whatever,
Mhm.
whatever. And a lot of lessons, yeah, I do enjoy being in it because I'm with my friends. But because as you get older, there's so much more for you to learn.
Yeah.
And it's so overwhelming as well. And I think it's important to recognize that, yes, there's a decline in knowledge for the minor signs of the day of Qiyamah, but also take into account that as you get older, life just becomes harder.
Yeah.
There's more things you have to work for. There's more things you have to learn. I mean, if you look at the content that you're learning and the content that we have to learn, there's a big difference.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
But I think, the decline, you just don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah, but I think also this point is talking a lot about, of course, like dunya, but I think it's talking a lot about deen. A lot of people just don't want to accept that some things are expected of us in Islam. We won't go into specifics, but, you know, like there's some things that we've been told that we have to do, or we've been told that we have to know about this, but we just don't want to accept it because society has like such a big impact on us.
Yeah, definitely.
Every time we talk about knowledge in all our shows, we mention one thing, and it was that Iqra was the first word revealed in the Quran, and I think that's important to keep in your head and keep on your tongue as well.
Yeah,
because Iqra just means read. For anyone who doesn't know, Iqra means read. It's literally telling us that we should be educating ourselves, learning. Knowledge is so important in Islam, because without knowledge, you're not going to know how to follow the rules of Islam.
Also, just talking about like just generally stuff that happens in the world, just educating yourself on what's going on. I think it's really important, especially as young people. We are the next generation. Our show is called Voices of Tomorrow. So it's important to educate yourself on what's happening in the world, because that is the world that we are going to soon work in, and we are going to be having families in, and you know, things like that. It's really important that we educate ourselves on what's happening,
and also to not speak about something if you're not educated in it. That's another big thing,
because then it's spreading misinformation.
Exactly. That's why when we came to doing, for example, what we wanted to speak about in our shows, we have to make sure we do so much research to make sure we're not saying the wrong things, we're not you know, telling people the wrong things,
because if you think about it, we're in such a powerful position. We're live, we can talk about anything, and we make sure that we
number 011648222086 and text on the number 0774885555. Make sure you answer our question. What was your highlight of the week?
Or not even Ramadan. Just highlight of the week,
highlight of the Ramadan.
Yeah, but also if you have anything to add about what we're talking about, anything related to what we're talking about, please do contribute. And we do have some prizes, so make sure you do join in.
Should we go on to the next point?
Yep. Focus on worldly possessions can become distracted on what is important in our daily life. So people are competing with other people. Me and my friends were literally when I was reading the show plan, me and my friends, the first word that came to our head was consumerism. As a sociology student, consumerism is such a big thing now. Like, social media has had such a big impact on it, and I think we can all agree with that. You always see the next new thing, and you always want the next new thing. Yeah, fast fashion. Like, it's so relevant to us as well.
I mean, it's become so easy for us to just get what we want, and I think, yes, of course, it helps as a benefit in some sense. It has its pros and cons.
Yeah.
But for example, when it came to like buying a phone, what's the newest phone out there? I feel like that's the first thing people will look at rather than looking at the specs, looking at the this.
Yeah.
I'm not a phone person.
I generally look at all the specs anyways.
But not even about that. I think it's about, even if people can't afford it, they feel like that they need it to be accepted by other people.
That is literally why school uniform exists, though.
Yeah, literally, that's why.
But then it's still even within school, when we're all still wearing school uniforms. I know it still happened when I was in school. It's the fact that it's the shoes you're wearing, the coat you're wearing, the glasses you have, the headphones you have, the phone you have. It still exists regardless of how much we try to prevent it. That's why
you have to work on your inner self.
Exactly.
So
you can't expect society to adapt to what you need. You need to figure out who you are as a person inside, and then work around that. I think that's a big thing in Islam as well.
And I think social media has such a big impact. It's so easily accessible on your mobile phone that you'll see what other people like. Let's talk about influencers for a second, right? They will all have different things, and you will want that, even if they will never show the full picture. They'll show what they want you to see.
Yeah, can we mention social media is so fake, guys?
Yeah.
So we've had a show about this. I know we have, because I remember talking about this. But social media shows the perfect picture. Life is not perfect. Life is not life is not all sunshine, happy and rainbows. You're going to have your ups and downs to everything. And social media influencers will only show you the positive side of things, because they want to look the best they possibly can.
Mhm.
And that's not how life is. And I think we as people, I think most people know this. Like, we're not saying this because people don't know this. We're saying it to remind people,
Yeah.
because we tend to forget, and we're like, okay, then it comes to comparison and jealousy
Yeah.
and envy, and it's like, they can do this, they have this, why can't I?
Also, everything we talk about is for ourselves before we to you guys, because
Yeah.
it's a reminder for us before anyone else.
Talking about social media though, like even like how the government's about to do that, under whoever's under 16 gets banned from social media. I feel like it's a good thing. Even if I'm 15, it's a good thing because
Yeah.
it pushes me away from social media.
Yeah.
And also like the younger generation just before me as well, they don't get hooked in like I did.
I've had so
Yeah.
many stories about how social media has ruined people's lives when they're under 16. Of course, 16 and over, they say, you know,
You're
you're
more
more
mature,
mature,
yeah.
you can make that responsible decision. Of course, I'm not saying 16-year-olds are mature because I'm 16. I'm not mature. But mature in the sense that I can make certain decisions and know the difference between right and wrong. But if you're in
Also,
year 7,
in hindsight, like, let's talk, because me and you are now over the age of 16. I mean, I didn't get a phone until I was in year 12.
I didn't get a phone until I was in year 12.
Yeah, so me and you, maybe we're not the target audience for this conversation, but, you know,
Yeah.
I think talking in hindsight, like, for example, we would know that if we were his age or younger, we know that, okay, it was a good thing that we didn't have that.
Yeah, I mean, I got given a little Nokia, so I still
Yeah.
had, no, guys, you know what, yeah? It was probably the best decision that my family made for me,
Yeah.
because I could still call, I could still text. It wasn't that I had no contact with my friends, but it was also that I wasn't given the ability to make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important because the phone is so dangerous as it is. It has everything. You're connected to
You
anything
can
you want.
access anything.
Anything. And I've heard so many stories about people in year 7.
Yeah.
You guys are fresh out of primary
Oh
school.
my gosh.
They're complete babies, and they're using social media, whether it's different platforms, and they don't see the negative side of things until they have their
Afterwards.
consequences. Yeah.
Yeah.
The repercussions after, and then they realize why people say not to go on it.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that under 16 thing is not
Yeah.
such a bad
Yeah, I
idea.
don't. Yeah.
No, generally, yeah.
Okay, our next one.
Mm-hmm.
Frequent natural disasters. So earthquakes, flooding around the world, and things like that. I mean, just in the past 5 years, how much has
So
happened?
much has happened.
So
Yeah.
many earthquakes. I'm sure when we were in secondary, we did so many like fundraisers for like
We
Yeah.
did.
Turkey and
I
things like
remember.
that.
Yeah, the Turkey earthquakes,
Yeah.
even
And
I'm
it
sure there's
says
been so many of
the
them.
it
Morocco
says
ones as
here-
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says here, in the moment our first thought isn't that this is a sign for the day of Qiyamah, but Allah has everything planned. And it links back to tawakkul, having
Yeah.
faith in Allah, and that everything does happen for a reason. There's one quote that we always say. I don't know, there's a couple quotes, but the first thing that came to my head was, Allah does not give us a burden we cannot bear.
Mm-hmm.
And that quote I've been using alongside me for the last 2-ish years now, because I
Yeah.
feel like it's such a powerful, strong quote. The things that happen around the world, everything will happen for a reason. It's always been planned out. Nothing just happens for the sake of it happening. If you think our whole lives have actually been written out for us, this moment was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
If you genuinely think about it, we were supposed to be doing this
Yeah.
show. This Ramadan was supposed to go like this. And another thing they say is, Allah will not help you unless you help yourself.
Yeah.
So when it comes to education, I know when we have an exam, we're on the musalla praying, we're making
Yeah.
dua.
When we need something
When we need something, but Allah will give you that help. Allah will help you within that exam, as long as you've revised, you put the effort in, because you
Yeah.
can't expect it to just come to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Allah will, if you run to Allah,
Allah,
yeah,
he's not gonna run
yeah,
back to you, but
yeah,
yeah,
but
he'll,
he will come.
he will be
come
there
to
he
you,
will,
he will
he'll
help
have
you.
the holding hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to remember.
Talking about dua as well, just making dua during when you're stressful and when you
Yeah.
need something, you need to make dua. When you're not stressful and when you don't need something, you still need to make dua. I mean, I'm guilty of that as well,
100%.
but yeah, but generally, I think we all need to just carry on everything
It's
after
gratitude.
Ramadan as
When
well.
something good happens as well, like
Gratitude.
Yeah.
simply just saying subhanallah. Like we spoke about this before
We
in one
did.
of our other shows. Like when something good happens, just say subhanallah, because that's come from Allah. The good and bad has come from Allah. So be aware of that and be grateful for that as well.
Yeah. I think we can go on to major signs now.
Okay, now we've got our major signs. So the first one,
I think before we start, just a quick
disclaimer.
disclaimer. This is a heavyish
topic.
Yeah, I think it's definitely scary to think about.
But it's important.
It's important to educate yourself on it, because I remember when I was younger, I was like 10 when I first found out about these things, and I was like scared. I was genuinely scared, because you don't know when it's gonna happen. No one knows when the day of Qiyamah actually is.
But it's like what you said before, tawakkul. It's gonna happen. Be accepting of it, and that's it. You just do what you need to do.
Exactly. So I think we can start now.
Okay, so the appearance of Dajjal, who is a deceiver claiming to be divine, and the emerging of a beast mentioned in Surah An-Na'mi, who will speak to mankind and expose their disbeliefs. The emerging of this creature is supposed to signify that repentance will no longer be accepted. The presence of Dajjal will also lead to the appearance of Imam Mahdi, who is a righteous leader. The Dajjal will then be defeated by the Prophet Isa alayhi salam and will rule with peace, returning peace to the world. Okay, I'll do that one first.
I think first we give a little description on the Dajjal, because I know a couple of things, and if you guys know a couple of things as well, you speak. But one thing I was told when I was younger is that he'll have kafir written on his forehead, and he'll have one eye. Now we don't know whether he's blind in one eye, or he'll, we don't know the specifics. But what we do know is he'll have kafir written on his forehead, and he'll walk around trying to
encourage people to join his religion.
Yeah, and he will talk about having Jahannam on one side and Jannah the other as well. Oh, sorry. But I think this whole concept is quite scary to think about, that there's just going to be someone walking around. But what has been said is he will not be able to enter Makkah. I remember seeing at one point on TikTok, people were saying they've seen a sighting of the Dajjal. Don't believe anything you've seen on social media, please. Yeah. Because when he comes, the whole world will know. It's not something that will be hidden. It's not something that will be a secret.
And also, if you're content in yourself, there's no reason to be scared.
They say that the true believers
won't fall into his trap.
Won't fall into his trap. And for that, we need to be pious Muslims.
We should strive to be the best that we can.
Yeah.
And also, if any listeners have anything that they'd like to add to this, I'm sure there's so much information that we've missed on Dajjal, but we want to give you the opportunity as well to join in. I'm sure there's a lot of young children who are probably listening in, who maybe have learnt about this in madrasa. So please do call in on
0116 4822 or text on the number 077 488 55055.
And just contribute. We want to hear what you have to say. I know there's so much we missed out. There's a story, I'm sure, about Dajjal that we've missed out. Please do contribute, and we do have prizes to be won, so please do call in.
Also, you could you could comment on Facebook or YouTube, and we will still see your message.
Yes.
But yeah, Dajjal is just a scary.
Scary.
It's genuinely terrifying. But just try to be. Allah didn't make us and think we were going to be perfect Muslims. There are no perfect Muslims on this world right now, but it's important to strive to be the best we can be. And Islam in the Quran itself and the Hadith, they give us genuinely a guideline. My brother was telling me this the other day. Islam isn't hard to follow. No. It's not a hard religion to follow whatsoever. It's just about the battle between deen and dunya. What you put first, what your values are, what your morals are. So say, for example, praying salah. If you have a show you're watching, because I know I'm speaking from past experience, there's a show you're watching and Isha time has now happened and you're in bed and you're so comfy and you're like, you know what, I'm watching my show, it's got 20 minutes left, I'm going to finish the show and then I pray Isha. But there's a huge thing about delaying your salah as well. You should not delay your salah. And so stuff like apps that tell you the salah times, they can be so helpful, especially when my ex used to be like, I don't have the Islamic timetable on my phone because I have an Nokia.
You know, those apps really sometimes scare me because it's the types of apps when it's salah time, the adhan will come and it'll play loudly and it scares me at times.
Even in the masjid as well, you can just hear like the adhan's already going, a lot of salah's about to start.
You can hear like 5 different phones adhan's going off on them.
I know there's an app where it's like it shuts down all your apps, like any social media app, like whether it's Netflix or TikTok or whatever, it shuts them all down and blocks them. So unless you've prayed, you can't access them.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And it makes it harder because of course you can just disable it. You can just like be like, okay, no, I've prayed, but then you have to
holds you accountable.
It holds you accountable, and I feel like you're more likely to feel guilty as well.
You feel that guilt of disabling that. Exactly. You'd be like, what am I doing?
If I can do this and I spend 2 minutes doing this, then I can also,
Yeah.
go to
And
pray.
it's also a good way to build that habit. We spoke about how many days is it, Mahek, to build a habit? Is it like 30?
30
30
days.
days.
Yeah.
30 days to build a habit.
So even if you're using that app to just help you build that habit of praying, doing your Quran, doing your dhikr, doing your dua is such a good way to do that. Also, I wanted to add, we said that the Dajjal will then be defeated by the Prophet Isa alayhi salam and will rule with peace, returning peace to the world. I think that's such a beautiful message of like hope.
Yeah.
Because of course we can just think about the scary that happens before it, but if you think about after it, I think that's such a beautiful message. Like,
at the end of the
yeah,
day,
and it won't just be us who will be in peace, by the way. I remember my Abba teaching, and also if please listeners, make sure you contribute because there's so much we're missing out. But there'll be peace within animals as well. Animals you'll never expect to get along with each other, they will get along with each other.
It's a beautiful concept because Islam also teaches us, and I think we as Muslims sometimes don't realize, Islam means peace first of all, but it also teaches us to try get along with every person that we interact with, whether it's saying hello, hi. Backbiting is such a sin in Islam, and I feel like we all do it.
Yeah.
And it's I'm saying we all do it because we see this all the time. When we do these shows, we speak to ourselves before we speak to everyone else. We as us three, we aren't perfect Muslims. We don't claim to be either.
No.
And so all the stuff we say, we speak to ourselves. We share our past experiences so people can learn, because everyone makes mistakes, and that's normal. It's just about learning from them, and I think that's important. Take this Ramadan to try better yourself, because that's what Ramadan's all about.
Talking about the peace that will come afterwards, we said like there will be no war, and things like that, and even animals will be there'll be peace between them as well. But you mentioned backbiting. There won't even be that. Everyone will just. It'll be like, the type of picture that you have in your head of like a harmonious society.
Yeah.
Everyone holding hands. That picture with the world and everyone holding hands around it. It will literally be like that. Inshallah, that is exactly what it'll be like. And I think it's just so like it's hope in your head. And inshallah, you if we are there, we'll be part of those people who are living in that peace. I love that we have that afterwards. So our next one, the story of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. So, Ya'juj and Ma'juj went around wreaking havoc upon people. So those who were being terrorized by the masses of Ya'juj and Ma'juj asked the righteous leader,
Dhul-Qarnayn.
for help. They described Ya'juj and Ma'juj as wild and unruly nations that looted and killed, and they wanted a barrier to protect them. Dhul-Qarnayn agreed to build a barrier. He used pieces of iron and copper, and with the help of people created a wall so strong that Ya'juj and Ma'juj could neither climb over it nor dig through it. Ya'juj and Ma'juj dig at the wall every day to try and escape. Each morning they find the wall miraculously restored by God. But nearing the point of the day of Qiyamah, they will be allowed to break through and cause widespread destruction, overwhelming the earth in numbers. Okay, a thing that I'm very sure my Appa told me this story. And I remember her saying that the reason, well, maybe not the reason, but every single night when the wall used to be restored, they used to say, we'll come back the next day and we'll do it again. But the night before they actually are able to break through, it's because they say, inshallah, or they say, they mention Allah before they say they'll come and break this wall. And the next day is when they are able to break through this wall.
It's such a scary thing to think about, but it's also so powerful. Inshallah can do so many things. I know sometimes I'll say to my mom, I'll say to my family, like I'll ask them, oh guys, can we go somewhere? And they'll go, inshallah.
In my head I think that means no.
Yeah, generally it means no, but they say it as a form of saying no sometimes. But it literally is if Allah wills.
If Allah wills.
And you said, and I'm hoping that is factual information, so we're not spreading the wrong thing.
That's what I'm saying. If listeners, please do correct us if I'm wrong. Add to anything that we're saying, anything, please. If there's any other major signs as well, we've only mentioned 2 over here. Any other major signs that you'd like to add, please do call in and join us.
But I was going to say, it's such a powerful thing just to take Allah's name and things. And why zikr and ibadah is so important.
Even though, inshallah, just reminds you of Zainab's custard cream story.
Oh my God.
Every time.
And her scooter story.
Do I need to say these
stories
again?
You haven't said the scooter.
I haven't said the scooter one this year. So, the scooter story. So, when I was probably 7, 8, I don't remember, quite young though. Alhamdulillah, I went for Umrah. So, me and my dad we went to touch the Kaaba, and this is when it was quite easy to get there. Or, well, they were still pushing and shoving, but it was a bit more easier to get there. So he took me, I was a little girl, and he took me to the Kaaba, and then I was touching it, and then I saw all these people around me crying and making their dua, and I thought, like, what's going on? Because I was still quite young. I didn't really, I was there and I was amazed by what was going on, but I wasn't really aware of what was happening. And then I saw my dad making dua, and I said, what should I do? He was like, make dua for anything that you want. So I was like a little girl, like, what do I want when I'm a little girl? So I was like, I made dua for a scooter. So I made dua for a scooter, and little me, I thought, well, you know that you're asking for this, but I mean, you really think, oh, you're actually going to get it. Keep in mind, I had been begging for this scooter for a very, very long time, like for so long. And then afterwards came home, everything, whatever. And then I think it was Eid, and I was at my nanny's house, and I opened my big box for my gift, and there is a scooter waiting right there for me. And in my head, I thought, I haven't mentioned this scooter since I've come back from Umrah. I haven't mentioned it. I haven't begged for it. I haven't, nothing. I just made that dua, and that was it. And I got that scooter. And, you know, maybe listeners and viewers, maybe the old ones are thinking, like, this girl, like, so. But in my head, as a little girl, I thought, like, Allah listened to me. And I think it's really, you know, people, they find Islam later on in their life. But because that happened to me at such a young age, and even the custard cream story, I'll say that story as well. I was young, and again, I was with my dad. We were in the dining room. We were having tea and biscuits, you know, as one does, dipping their custard creams in their tea. And all the custard creams had finished in the biscuit box. And I was so upset. And I said to my dad, I want more custard creams. And as parents say, they'd be like, make dua and you'll get some more. And when he said that, I thought, I'm not getting more custard creams. It's not going to happen. But I actually made dua. I was like, oh, like, please, I want more custard creams. So I made dua, and I was talking to my dad, and I was just sat there. And then next thing you know, there's a custard cream inside the biscuit box. And I don't know, maybe my dad added it in there. I have no clue. But as a young girl, I genuinely thought, Allah listened to me. And I thought, like, you need that at that age. You know, you want to know that Allah is listening to you. And whenever in my head I'm making dua, you know, you have that conscious side of you, and you're thinking, is Allah actually listening to me? And then I remember those stories, and I think, like, Allah is always listening. He listened to me when I wanted a skewer. He listened to me when I wanted a custard cream.
There's a huge thing that I was always told. My brother used to say this to me all the time. And it used to be, if it's meant to you, even if it's between two mountains, you will get it. And if it's not meant if it's not meant for you, even if it's between your two brows, you won't. And I think that's such a powerful thing to think about, because when it comes to, like, for example, grades, as we're all students here, I know exams are definitely coming up. Yours are really important. Mine are really important. And the grades we want, yes, we're supposed to work for it, but if it's meant for you, it will find you. It will come to you. Whether it's grades, whether it's friends, because I know friends it's been such a huge thing.
It's really relevant to our listeners as well.
Friends has been such a huge thing for me this year. I mean, I was so nervous coming into year 12, being like, who am I going to find? What kind of people are there going to be? But when I needed it the most, I feel like I genuinely found it.
Also, can I just say, like, I know you came into college with no one that you really knew.
Yeah.
But do you not, I mean, in your head, you maybe thought, like, oh, this is really bad. But then also, if you really think about it, it's a blessing from Allah, because you were then able to go have a fresh start, but also go out and talk to people. And you were able to develop those skills of talking to people you've never 100%. Met before. So even in the moment, it might not have felt like a good thing, but now you've spoken to so many different people, you are able to talk to people. I mean, us three, right? It's kind of scary sometimes coming into this room and talking live. And I remember our first times we did it, I was terrified. I mean, me and Abdurrahman did it a year before you, but your first show, I remember you were so nervous.
We have this thing to do in year 12 called extracurriculars.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've done. I got told to do mine on literally our show.
Yeah.
Because it's taught me speaking skills, and it's taught me how to organize things. So of course we do show plans and whatever. And I remember the first time, because of course, like Zainab mentioned, I came a year after Voices of Tomorrow started. But alhamdulillah, I was made to feel so welcome, and I
Yeah.
got along. I already was getting along with you. I didn't really know you very well, and so I remember the first show. I was shaking the
Yeah.
entire time. I didn't know what I could say. I didn't know how I was supposed to present myself. And
Yeah.
now we come here, and it's so normal. Like, we look forward to this every Ramadan, and it's also a lesson saying some things at first might be really, really scary, you know, but take those opportunities that have been presented to you in your life. Because I remember the day that I got presented with this opportunity, I was like,
I remember coming to you with the opportunity.
I was like, I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, what will
I
people
thought that
say?
Mehek wasn't going to take the opportunity at first.
My first thing was, what will people say? You know, when people see this, because it's on YouTube, it will be on YouTube. Like, people can see me, my face, our faces, whether it's from us 3 years ago when you
Yeah.
hated. Now I look back, I'm like, oh, why did I used to do that? But like,
That's why I don't watch my old shows.
Yeah,
that's
I
why
never.
we don't watch our old shows.
I mean, that's with everyone. Nobody likes to watch
Yeah.
what
it's
you've already
hearing
done.
your own voice on a recording and stuff.
Yeah.
But take those opportunities that are given to you, because I don't know what I'd be doing right now if I hadn't.
Yeah,
Like,
genuinely.
Ramadan, this is giving me another something to look forward to.
We speak
another
about
thing to look
this
forward to.
as well in like our previous shows. Like, being part of something, it makes you feel like a sense of community and unity with something.
Makes you feel
'Cause
included.
Exactly, and you feel included with your community, because not just with you two, but everyone in the background at the studio, like everyone in Ramadan FM, the studio, you know,
They make us feel so welcome.
we feel
here.
so welcome here, and it's like, I don't feel like I'm not
An
working for
outcast,
them or
yeah.
volunteering for them, but I feel like
a
have the
team.
you have the freedom
Yeah.
to like.
We can make jokes and stuff, and we can laugh and giggle, and
Yeah.
it's fine. Like,
And we're not here to talk about, we're here to say that you can have this as well. You know, find your people and don't be scared to take the opportunities.
100%.
Even if you think it's an opportunity that is not really what you want to do, but things can come off that opportunity.
100%.
There may
I
be
mean,
other things you can get from that.
exactly. I remember, for example, in my school we have ISOC, which is like an Islamic society. And when we get to college and stuff, I feel like there are so many societies there. Like, my school just use society for anything. You can have whatever you want. You just make them own. And I remember joining ISOC in the beginning of the year, being like, oh, it's like a cute little Islamic society. And I remember the WhatsApp group chat had like 50 people, and I was like, oh, wow, that's a lot. And I remember seeing one day they posted on the community group chat, as an admin, a gal posted, we're looking for job roles, like people to take these job roles. And so I saw it and I was like, I want a job role. I'm new to this school. And I managed to get an interview with the people, the main heads, the leaders of ISOC. And now I'm part of the heads. And I
Yeah.
think that's such a beautiful concept to think about, because going into year 12, I did not think I was going to be ISOC head now. But now that I am, I wouldn't look back.
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for the world. I have so much fun.
That was the same thing for me when I joined Judge Meadow. When I joined, I was very scared. I didn't have
Mhm.
anyone, because also I had recently moved to Whitehall. So
Okay.
so I even when I went to Whitehall as well, I had no
You
one.
went Whitehall?
Yeah, I went Whitehall.
Oh my god, I went Whitehall.
That's
Sorry.
another story to talk about. But when I went there, I had no one, because it was the
Yeah.
last year and it was a completely different era to where I was before.
Got it.
But then slowly I made friends, and they think, and that's what it's like. That's what with yours in Beecham as well. But also when I went Judge Meadow as well, from the start, I found this opportunity from Mr. Chowdhury,
Yeah.
and I was like, you know what, I want to do this, you know, because I want to follow in the footsteps of my brother, because that's what that's the thing in it. Because like
Yeah,
in family you have like siblings, but also when I joined as well. I felt welcome from you and the others. That's when you joined later.
Yeah.
But it's a thing where whenever you get opportunity, you should always take it, because I know no one else took it.
No.
No one
No
took
one wanted to do this.
it. No one wanted to
I
do
mean,
it.
the reason we got this opportunity is not because, it's actually because in secondary we joined our podcast team.
Yeah.
I mean, all three of us did. And we wouldn't be here if we never even took that. And in our college, in our secondary, no one wanted to join the podcast team.
Genuinely, no
No
one.
one
It was
wanted
like
But
an
I got-
embarrassment.
It was
It
an
was.
embarrassment to be to say you wanted to be a part of
like,
it.
I remember people used to genuinely make fun of us, like when it
Oh,
used
yeah.
to go on like the big screen, and it was like, oh look, Mehek's doing a podcast with Zain's doing a
Yeah.
podcast. But you know what? Through that podcast,
We got this.
we
But you
had
know-
this, and I had amazing opportunities to meet amazing people. I
You know
will
what
say
people
that.
have done? They've made stickers on me.
Oh, me too.
They made
Don't
stickers
worry.
on me.
It comes with the job.
It comes with the job, but like you mentioned siblings, and I wanted to quickly speak about that. You're the oldest,
Mhm.
right? I'm the youngest, right? I have
Youngest
two
as well.
brothers. You're also the youngest. I have two brothers, yeah. Both of them amazing people, he's gonna watch this. Be like, wow, she thinks I'm amazing. But my brother has definitely been my role model for so many things in life. And I'm not saying this because I think he's watching, but I'm saying this because he, for example, with ISOC, right? He's part of the ISOC Medical University Society thing in university. And I remember looking at him like, he's so cool. Like, I can't wait to do this. And he's
Did you ever tell him that?
Yeah, because
Okay.
recently, I think it was like a month ago now, but he took me to this event for his ISOC Medical Society, Muslim Medics, that's what it's called. And I met so many incredible people there. And I'm talking about people who go to that university. And now, like, I have their numbers and I follow them. And they enjoyed my presence. And I remember at that point in time, I was wondering, like, is it just me? Like, when I was in school, like, why couldn't I make strong connections with people? And I realized in college, and I want to say this to people that are watching, in college, people, you have 2 years. People are so focused on studies, not forming connections. You're less likely to form connections with people, and they're going to be strong.
You're lucky if you form a connection.
Genuinely. And I think people who do end up forming a connection, like I have with some people, I'm so beyond grateful because I know some people just don't want that anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And going into university, it's nice to see those 5 years, whether it was people from first year or people from fourth year, I was able to speak to whoever I wanted. And it's the idea that people thought I was their age. People thought I was in that university. I was that mature. I was that articulate. And seeing how they were in that society, it made me just want to do more for my school, do more for ISOC.
Yeah.
I remember we held an iftar event on Monday this week. That can be my highlight.
Yeah.
The iftar event this week, Monday. And I remember running around school trying to recruit people to join because it was like, guys, we need more people to come to this event. But the event was, from what I could tell, the event was amazing.
Yeah.
So I think stuff like that, siblings can also have such a positive effect on you as a person.
I hope I have that impact on
Talking
my
about like iftars and everything, just judgment as well. It's just gone downhill without you lot because
What can we say?
I'm just saying that before there used to be all the iftars, used to have the big shows, but nothing's there now. It's just completely empty.
To be fair, our iftar party was really good. Do you
Yeah,
remember the
it was.
iftar party?
Yeah,
Everyone remembers
definitely.
the
Abdurrahman
iftar
actually
party.
did the adhan on that party.
Did I?
Do you not remember?
I don't remember that.
I remember.
I remember going to the iftar party and still being scared because that year I didn't even know you that well.
Yep.
I remember that was the first year I think I joined
Yeah, it was.
the
Yeah.
team.
Yeah.
And I remember being in year 10 and I was so worried. But I remember sitting with my teacher, having iftar with my teacher it sounds so weird, but it was one of my favorite memories. It was my English teacher. And me and my English teacher were always really, really close. And I still love her. I haven't spoken to her in like a year now, but I would always have that. She sat with my mum and me having iftar. And I was like, that's such a beautiful concept. And then I remember going to help serve food as well. My English teacher was still there and she was like, we were walking around.
It was just such a amazing feeling of like community with your people. Because I mean, it was me and my friend Zainab, she's in the background producer, but we were the ones who like we decorated and we spent the whole day preparing for that. And ask her, we were both stressed. We thought like this is not going to turn out how we wanted it to be, but it went so well. It was so beautiful, and it went even better than we could have expected. You know, teachers who we don't really talk to that much, you know, they don't really talk to us about that sort of stuff. We spoke to them and we got a whole different side of them.
Yeah.
You create a community with the people around you. And I think the message of today is literally just, of course, we have all these minor and major signs for the day of Qiyamah, but it's what you make of it, which is going to be what's going to happen to you.
Even the iftar as well. It wasn't just Muslims viewing it.
It was an interfaith.
Yeah. So
this was this week as well. This week for our school, it's been like Spirit Week, so like every day has been something different. I remember Thursday was Culture Day, and I love going all out. So I wore like the nicest outfit with my jewelry, whatever. Not a lot of people did dress up. I won't lie. It wasn't our main Culture Day because we have our main Culture Day in summer, right? But this is to raise money, fundraiser. And so I dressed up, and I saw teachers walking around because it was also well booked day on Thursday. I saw teachers walking around, and they just were embracing the culture. And students, because of course it's a sixth form, so year 7 to year 13. And I had year 8s come up to me and be like, what culture are you? What ethnicity are you? What kind of dress are you wearing? And I was like, so I'm Pakistani. And I was just explaining. And I had people asking about hijab as well, being like, oh, I want to wear it this Ramadan, but I'm too scared.
I think it's such a good, like, to have these, especially for the youth. But we're soon ending Asha, and we do have Abdurrahman's Nasheed as well. Always end with Abdurrahman's Nasheed. So I'll end it off. We'll all say As-salams, and then we'll have his Nasheed.
But
So,
just generally talking about iftar, the
Mhm.
one thing I remember is that you remember Mr. Beale, that PE
Yes.
teacher. He came as well, and
That
oh
was-
yes,
yeah.
we had non-Muslim
non-Muslim teachers
from our
as
school
well
come
that
and
came.
join,
Yeah,
and it was amazing. It was so beautiful.
yeah,
But that's why you guys should also have in your schools, try and do these sorts of events.
yeah.
You know, not only will it be good for you to create those skills, but also you can create that sense of community with the people in your schools, in your colleges. Have that initiative.
I also wanted to quickly say before we stop speaking is that this show, even as much as we're talking about our deen, we're talking about Islam, it's not a show that's dedicated towards Muslims. I spoke to about this show yesterday to someone on my table that was sitting there, and he was like, "Can I watch it?" And I was like, "Yes." Like this show isn't just for Muslims. It's educating yourself on different
Anything,
things. It's
everything.
so important.
Yeah. We can't stop talking. We could
We
talk for
can't.
days. So we never know how quickly the day of judgment will come. So it's important to treat every day as our last, to seek repentance and forgiveness for any sins, and to always strive to be the best Muslim we can be. I think that ends it beautifully. So that's been me, Zainab.
That's been me, Mahek.
That's been me, Abdurrahman. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Every time when I'm awake, all things that I see, I know it's hard to believe, but it's from the Almighty. When the leaves fall from the tree, every plant that grows on land, when the waves flow in the sea, it's by His command. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah. I wanted to cut it short because we don't have much time, but that's it.
Yeah, that's it. That's been us. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.